Yo, what up, Mike D? Checking in right here. I got a special guest here. Got Tony. You know him as Tony the Dome. You know what I mean? But we're gonna call him Tony for this discussion. What's going on
Yeah.
with you, Tony? How you doing, brother?
Hey, long time overdue, man. I'm good, bro. Everything is love.
Yes, sir, man. I love it, man. I always see your tweets. Like I see your tweets on X. I see your tweets on like Facebook and Instagram. And there's a lot of people out there who are like fire starters when it comes to hip hop conversations. But I love your conversations because they actually come from real, substance. And I think this Common and Jadakiss thing that has everybody erupted is another example of that. And I wanted to get you on so we can kind of expound upon that a little bit more.
Mhm.
Can you let people know how this whole thing got started?
Look, it really got started as simple as this. One of my homies called me, and we just rapping about hip hop like we love to do. And we started just talking about rankings and will you rank this MC and that MC. And he brought
Mhm.
up Jadakiss, like, man, I would probably put Jadakiss close to my top 10. I was like, word? I was like, but the catalog don't really say that to me. You know what I'm saying? But the skills is the skills. And I like, so then he brought up Common. And I said, bro, Common got one of the best catalogs in hip hop history to me. I said, so I can't in good faith rank Jadakiss over Common because he was kind of like, man, I might have Jadakiss over Common. I said, nah, can't do that, bro, because you know what I'm saying, the catalog speaks for itself, and I'm a big person on catalogs and albums. So I just decided to go to Twitter like I do sometimes, and for me, it was just a random tweet. All of my
Yeah.
tweets, I have no agenda, bro. I don't get paid to tweet. I just put a tweet up there. The next thing I know, a day later, cats start inboxing me like, yo, man, you on IG, Facebook, all this and all that. I'm like, about what? They're like, that Common and Kiss joint. And I was like, okay. So I went around, looked at like, oh, so it's people really having this kind of conversation. But what I noticed, people took the tweet and turned into their own narrative. Like,
Mm.
okay, now who's the best rapper? I said nothing about that because that's subjective because both of them are elite. I simply said in the tweet, I can't rank someone whose catalog is that much more deeper over the other one. That's kind of how I started. Then it just took a life of its own, bro.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? We talk about these rap rankings all the time, and I do think that there is a level of obviously everything's, subjective. It's hard to be objective when it comes to opinions like that. But what we normally do is, especially now, you have people who value catalog, and you got people who just value raw skill. I used to see this a lot when I would go on my little Eminem diatribes, man. I don't want to
Yeah,
go down that road. But to
I
me, I'm
remember.
with you catalog is everything. I feel like catalog is what separates the good MC from the great MC. And once upon a time, and I know you remember this too, when Jada was coming to locks and going solo around the early 2000s, there was a lot of hoopla and a lot of buzz about what Jada was gonna do with his debut album because we knew what his skill set looked
Right.
like.
Facts.
And that was his moment to kind of like you said, deliver on a level that Common has delivered on before. And we'll get to the catalog. One of the things you said
Mhm.
when we were offline, you were saying that people were sleeping on Common's skills as an MC in comparison to Jada.
Yeah, yeah, because that's the one thing that people kept saying when these bars, man, these bars. Because I know Kiss is a crowd favorite. I also know what Versus did for Kiss. Don't get me wrong. We know he was a big time cat before Versus, but Versus, it was like the NBA Finals, and he was the MVP. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because he took down Dipset, but Dipset was very unorganized. They had like they didn't even know their own songs and didn't like each other. So that was a reason. That was an easy victory. But he did take Fab down too. So it put Kiss in for a moment right there, in the upper echelon, man, of hip hop because versus was a big thing after COVID and stuff like that. So people was talking about his skills. But my point offline was the frustration is the lack of awareness of Common skills. Common is lyrical in his own right, can rhyme, diverse, portfolio of songs. You know what I'm saying? So he's a storyteller, man. He can go and give you some nasty bars like the bitch in you or sweet or something like that. So he can do all those different things. You know what I'm saying? So that was the frustrating part. Like, wait a minute, we're not talking about chopped liver here. We're talking about Common. We're talking about the dude that did like Water for Chocolate and B. We're talking about the dude that did It's Your World. So what are we talking about
Yeah.
here?
Yeah,
The
I
skills are
got
both
B
amazing
right here.
for both guys.
You know,
Yeah,
I would
so
say
I
this.
mean, we're talking about elite MCs.
I would say this, not to interrupt you. If we're talking about skills, right? And I get it for somebody who might not be as knowledgeable about, 90s, early 2000s Common. They're looking at the Common that they see today in relation to the Jadakiss that they're seeing today on a skill level. But I would point people to records like Six Sense, if we want to look for a common skill, or Hungry. Hungry just came on my Apple Play, my Apple Music randomly the other day, and I was like, "Yo, Common's going for it." And I remember the way that Common was rhyming on 199 too. And I think
Facts.
that if you look at the full scope, and like you said, you mentioned It's Your World, showed me what Jadakiss's It's Your World looks like. Would that be why?
Yeah,
And if you say why, I would put It's Your World lyrically over why.
It's Your World is one of the best endings to an album I've ever heard. You know what I'm saying? That
Period.
second verse, period. That second verse is nothing short of amazing. But like you said, the Sixth Sense, uh, my goodness, man, like where you want to go, Resurrection remix, the Lost
Yeah.
Professor remix, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just the joint Great Expectations on Soul in the Whole soundtrack. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
Ooh, ooh.
we talking about Respiration with Black Star. You know
Bro,
what I'm
I was
saying?
just
Like
about to say
people
that.
listen, anyone listening, please go back after this recording, put in Respiration and listen to how vivid Common is with that verse. And this is just one of 100 verses that he has like this. We can
Yeah.
go on forever about that.
Yeah. What do you think about his closing verse on the College Dropout? On Put Your Hands Up, Get 'Em High.
I thought it was dope, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, Common, especially during that era, I mean, Common was still on fire. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And I think that's the thing. Like you said, a lot of people now might be listening to like, well, no, I ain't gonna say that late Common is still dope. But if you listen to Auditorium, and we're gonna get into the catalog, but
Yeah.
again, Common is so dope on how to end a record or end an album per se. That song Now and Then, I would challenge anyone to go listen to the lyrics and how vivid Now and Then is. The last track on the Auditorium Volume 1. You know what I'm saying? Like people show skill set different ways. Jadakiss' skill set is the punchlines, the bars. We get that. For some people, that's their style of rap. And I'm not trying to debate that part. You know what I'm saying? Because some people like what they like. Common is going to be more on a storytelling. He's more, for me, dynamic personally because he gives me more on the microphone and different avenues of writing a song. Songwriting is just different when it comes to Common and it comes to Jadakiss. So, and all that goes into having a catalog of albums. He was able to
Well,
do that over a course of 30 years.
you're right. I'm gonna get you into some hot water right now. I'm gonna ask you a question. I'll answer it too, just so I'll get pulled in as well. Does Jadakiss have a classic album?
No.
I don't think
But
so either.
but he has, but this is the thing though. And I tweeted this about a month ago. I said, there's nothing wrong with an MC having a good album, or even a great album. Everyone doesn't have a classic album. Every great MC and great group don't have a 5 mic album, or that word doesn't mean anything. That's
Mm.
and I don't use that word lightly. 5 mics is 5 mics for a reason. Jadakiss, when he came out with his debut, it was a solid debut. Some good songs on there. I gave about 3.5. When he came out with the next album, was it The Kiss of Death? I gave it 4 mics. I thought it was very dope. I thought he blended commercial and street joints. Same with The Last Kiss. You know what I'm saying? Nation was pretty good. But now, if we talk about Common albums, and whenever you're ready to go there, then the separation happens when I'm talking about ranking.
How many classic albums do you think Common has?
Too minimal.
Yeah.
Minimal for
Um,
me because, yeah.
I got B, and I'm really big on B. Again, it's right here. I'm really big on B. I think B is one of the best hip hop albums of the 2000s. Period. Not just I think it's one of the greatest hip hop albums of all time, if we're being real. And if you want to talk about, because at that time, I don't think anybody made a classic that late in their career either. So that says a lot as well.
It
Um,
does.
I think the other one, like you said, like Water for Chocolate, has really gained ground like over the years.
God.
I I mean, not to age myself, but I was a freshman in college in 2000, and I ran up with my guy, Alabama State, Damaris. He was from Chicago. I was from Atlanta,
Mhm.
and so I'm big
Right.
Outkast. He's big Common, and the classic then in 2000, he just like resurrection, resurrection, resurrection. And now he says like not like Waterflip, but one day it all sense is his favorite Common album. The quality is there. And so over time, and we're here in 2026, when I listen to all of those albums, to me, the one that has aged the best is like Water for Chocolate. And I mean, any of those could be considered a classic. I think more so
Man,
Resurrection and like Water for Chocolate.
man, listen here, bro. Like Water for Chocolate is a fantastic album. I
It
mean, we're
is.
talking about from having the song like a single like The Light on it, but then having a single like The Sixth Sense on it for the streets. You know what I'm saying? We're talking
Mhm.
about a song for Asada. You know what I'm saying? That's that
Mhm.
storytelling bag that Jadakiss don't have a song for Asada. That's my point about making albums and making songs. We're talking about Ghetto Heaven with D'Angelo, rest in peace. Man, we're talking about Thelonious. We're talking about what we saying, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So and
Thelonious
then
is one of my favorite Common songs, period, man. He went in on that
Five
song, man.
Mics.
The way he was rapping on there, and that's the thing too. Common
Unbelievable.
flipped his, and I will give Jadakiss this, and I always give Jadakiss props for the fact that he's one of the few MCs that sounds great on every song and doesn't have to change up his style to do it. And it's like it's
Always.
pretty amazing. But with Common, he's changed up his style so many times. And when you think about the like Water for Chocolate Common, and that's the one I'm talking about on the 1999, you never hear that
Yep.
Common ever again. And he still was able to make a classic after that.
Yeah, absolutely. So for me, like Water for Chocolate, Five Mics. If people go back right now and you look at the professional reviews from back then, it was on every album of the year, top two or top three or number one in every publication for a reason. It's a fantastic album. B for me was Common's Illmatic. You know what I'm saying? We're talking
Oh
about
yeah.
10 tracks. We're talking about no filler. We're talking about no skits, straight rhymes. You know what I'm saying? For 10 songs, perfect. The Corner is to me is a legendary hip hop song. You know what I mean? So like again, It's Your World is probably one of the best storytelling songs and best endings to an album. The food on there, you know. So yeah, you
The
got that.
intro's
Then One
pretty
Day It All
great
Makes
too.
Sense. The
Yeah.
intro was awesome, man. You know,
Yeah.
and then One Day It All Makes Sense. Age like fine wine for anyone to go back now. Common gave you introspective joints on there with Lauryn Hill and CeeLo Green. He gave you
Mhm.
joints with Cannabis. You know what I'm saying? To really
Yeah.
spit fire on. You know what I mean?
Oh, time out, time out. I want to say something there too. I want to give Common props. In that era, nobody had the balls to get on a record with Cannabis with just them. It was always posse cuts with Cannabis. The way
Absolutely.
Cannabis was
For a
going
reason.
crazy on tracks at that time, all of your greats, respectfully, they were getting washed by him on tracks. And Com got washed on making a name for ourselves, but he's the only one, with the exception of Rakim, who actually got on a song with just him and Cannabis. And even the Rakim thing, that was like 99. This is 97 Cannabis that Common's
Yeah,
trading
scary
bars
Cannabis.
with.
Yeah, that's scary. That's beast from the East Cannabis that people
It
didn't
is.
want to deal with a one-on-one. So again, Common did that. He held his own very well. But again, that's Cannabis on some futuristic. People thought that Cannabis was gonna take over hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
He
Like that's
did.
how good he was and scary he was. We know Hot 97 and started doing them freestyles. And Common still was like, come on, jump on the track.
Yeah. I
Props to
never
him.
heard
You
anything
know?
like it, to be honest, man. Like, and I hear J. Cole say stuff like this too. Like when I used to try to rap, man, when I heard Cannabis back in the day, man, I threw away my notebooks and started over, man. Like you said, he sounded like the future. He sounded like what they they must. I mean, I only say this because I wasn't there for it, but this must have been what people felt like when they heard Rakim in '87. Like, but see, Cannabis once
Yeah.
again back to the catalog. He didn't deliver with the album. And the album is still important. And I think that now, since albums are less important, then people kind of discard the fact that of albums' importance in your catalog and in your all-time ranking. Do you think that there's an era of fans who just don't really care about the album like that anymore?
I think over the last 15 years or so, because everything is microwave real fast right now. You don't have to go to the record store like we did back in the day on Tuesdays and stuff like that. Now you get the joints, you pick your favorite songs off it real quick and make a playlist. So once the playlist became a thing, the albums for a lot of people started not being as important. But for some of us, we remember opening the packages up back in the day, reading the joints, and then riding to the album and listen to it as one full body of work. That made a difference. But same thing what I said a few months ago when people talking about Stevie Wonder. I said the reason why people like Stevie Wonder is held in high regard is because his catalog
Yeah.
in the 70s, Stevie Wonder dropped like 5 classic albums, all critically acclaimed. Marvin Gaye did the same thing. You see
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So those kind of people, the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, you become these type of icons because now you had not because you had one great album or several good songs. It's because you had over time you had classic albums,
Yeah. Yeah.
catalog.
The
That's
album
why some of them.
separates you. That's the separator. I would say, I've always said this. Singles and songs sell records and they make the music business money. But albums, those are the things that separate you from just the other artists. Now, I want to ask you this too. Can you
Okay.
be a top 20 MC all time with no classic album?
Can be, but I feel like you can because let's say, for example, you're an MC who's been around for several decades, right? And let's
Hmm.
say you have 15 albums, but let's say about 7, 8 of them are really good albums with some great songs on and great singles. You had impact, you had influence. That will take you to the top because again, somebody can have one classic and 5 duds. Somebody else can have no classic, but 5 or 6 very good albums, man. You know what I'm saying? And so they,
Consistency, yeah.
I would probably rank that person with 5 or 6 very good albums. Then that one person, okay, that one person hit a home run. Great, you had a home run, you had a classic, but then the rest of your career, you had decent work. So that might drop you out of a top 20 or top 30, but the other guy was consistent all the way through for a long period of time. And I would think that if we voting, that person will get votes because you'd be like, damn, that's a good album. That's a good album. You feel what I'm saying? Like, they don't have a bad album.
In reference to your Jadakiss and Common thing, this is something that I dealt with early as a Wu-Tang fan, and Method Man was my first favorite rapper. And when I heard Supreme Clientele, Ghostface jumped over him to me. Like he
Yeah.
just did. You know what I'm saying? Like the first half of Supreme Clientele, I was like, yeah, man, I can't put Method Man over Ghostface. I just can't. Like, you know what I
Yeah, but
mean?
you know what, Mike? Before that, he drops Iron Man.
Yeah, he did.
Right? So you got a classic there, you got a classic Supreme Clientele, and then professional review. Fish Scale got like a 4.5 out of 5 on like 10 different professional reviews. So you're talking about the consistency right there. Again, a catalog. Ghostface is revered and ranked high by a lot of people because of his catalog.
Now,
Again, back to
now
what
I
was
will say
before.
this. I will say this. Yeah, you're right about Iron Man, and I want to be very clear. Only Built for Cuban Links is a top 5 hip hop album all time for me. But I
To,
looked
to,
at Iron Man and Only Built for Cuban Links is like, those two guys teaming up. It's like it's just as much as Ray's album as
they,
it
would,
is
they
Go.
would cheat a little bit.
Yeah. Whereas Supreme Clientele, that was
It's
clearly
Ghost.
all Go. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I want to say something else real quick
go
too.
ahead, go ahead.
Because a few people, not a few, quite a few people was hitting me in these debates on X about, okay, but what about, okay, so let's say Common got better albums, but what about Jadakiss mixtapes? Let me tell you the reason why that doesn't hold
Mm.
so much weight with me. So okay, Jadakiss got dope mixtapes. A lot of MCs got dope mixtapes, and a lot of MCs got dope mixtapes don't have dope albums. Because again, if you can rap, if you put on Benjamin's Shook Ones and all of this stuff like that, if you can just rap, you can spit over them joints, and that's cool. That don't take a whole lot of skill, a lot of work because you can naturally rap. You just rapping over some beats, you know what I'm saying, some random rhymes. But to craft the album, to craft certain songs with certain meanings to it, like a song for a side, like I said, you know what I mean, and things of that nature, that's harder. That takes more effort. To me, that takes more skills because there's a bunch of random kids right now on YouTube can rhyme over Shook Ones, but
You know
can't
what?
put a
I'm
damn
so
16 together.
glad you said that. And because I was talking about this with somebody before, and you're right. When I look at mixtapes, and it's no disrespect to mixtapes, and
No digit.
mixtapes have evolved over the years, But it's kind of like when people made covers back in the day, right? You already know what the song sounds like. You're just kind of making the song your own, and that's cool. That's a whole different animal than making your own song. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, you get on Benjamin Shook ones, you already have a cadence that you can go on. You already have the people's ear because they already like the song. It's a difference
Yeah, I
when you
already like.
yeah, they already like the song. Now you just got to do your thing to it. That's a whole different thing than
But think
putting
about
out the corners and getting people to like the corners. You know what I mean?
right. So now, the only time I give a lot of credence to mixtapes, for example, is like the way Rick Ross would do it. Rich Forever is a mixtape, but it's an album. All
Yes,
original rhymes, all original beats. You know what I'm saying? Big Crit has done that before, and other people
exactly.
like that who has made. Even with J. Cole Friday Night Lights, for example, is mostly it's like songs. You know what I'm saying? Before I'm Gone and all that stuff, those are original songs. So
I don't like
I,
calling
I
those
give that.
mixtapes. Those are albums. Like you said, these are
That's
original
what I call them,
ideas
albums.
and original songs. I don't like calling those mixtapes because to
Yeah,
me, if you how can you differentiate the two? What are you differentiating them by? If it's
right.
original music, then it's original music. Like what makes it a mixtape and what makes Friday Night Lights a mixtape and what makes J. Cole's debut album an album.
That's right. I mean, again, and that's a good question. I like to see what people think about that because, in my eyes, mixtape is someone rhyming over beats that's already been established from other artists. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? He just spit some joints that you got in your notebook. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
I mean, and so Common, for example, didn't do mixtapes. I remember way back in early 2000s, Fonte from Little Brother was on one of their mixtapes, and he was like, basically, I don't like doing mixtapes a lot because these are rhymes I could be putting on the album getting paid for. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, and I feel that. So I'm not knocking, like, Common is not a mixtape MC. You know what I'm saying? He makes albums. And I think that for me, that holds way more weight, and it's a lot harder to craft an entire journey, which is an album for me is a journey.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Busta Rhymes is another one, right? I think Busta Rhymes has had a great career, is a great MC, and
Mhm.
ELE is a personal favorite of mine. But if I'm being
Yeah.
objective, Busta Rhymes doesn't have a classic album, and that's okay. But when it comes to comparing Busta and Common, I would have to rank Common over Busta again. Catalog. I mean, the skills are there. Like you said, the skill part of it, that could be very subjective. But
Yeah. What
when
you
you
like most? Yeah.
yeah, because one of the things we used to do back in the day, like we used to give artists points for being versatile. Like you said, Common can give you a record like The Light. Common could also give you a Sixth Sense. He could also give you a song for Asada. And I'm just mentioning stuff from one album. You know what I mean? And when Common has also shown us over time, and he doesn't get enough credit for this, he has worked with No ID. He's worked with Jay Dilla. He's worked with Soul Aquarian, Questlove, whatever. He's worked with the
Kanye.
Neptunes. He's worked with Kanye West. He can adjust to all types of production. He's worked with DJ Premier, and you got to give him credit for that too. And it's I mean, he's showing how versatile he is as an MC and as an artist. And I don't know. I don't know how anyone could just look at it one way when you have to factor in all of these things. But like you said, I think what holds the most weight is the album, songs, and then the album. I mean, even when we talk about LL Cool J, LL Cool J is so large because of the catalog.
Because of the catalog.
Yeah, he
I mean, you got
separates
radio.
himself.
Yeah, you got radio, you got bad. Then you gonna get a Mr. Smith. You're gonna get Mama Said Knock You Out, which is one of the biggest comeback albums in hip hop history. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? You're gonna get all of that stuff. So I mean, at the end of the day, it that just holds the weight to me. You know what I mean? And that's what separated a whole lot of MCs, man. Like the reason why people will love Jay-Z at one point, and will still do, of course, but because he was making album after album. You're gonna go Reasonable
yeah,
Doubt, Volume 1, Volume 2. You got the Blueprint, you got the Black Album, you got the Dynasty, you got American Game. That's a catalog.
yeah,
Nas got so much more love after doing this Hit Boy run because it added to his already illustrious career. He turns around and does 6 albums in a what 3.5 years or what have you. Then he does the DJ Premier albums. You're talking about 7 albums since 2020. there's artists who don't even have what 7 albums their entire discography.
Yeah, and you know what? Nas could have went out there and called these things mixtapes for their album. You know what I'm saying?
Rakim got like 7 albums.
That's true.
You know
I
what I'm
love
saying? Like a
Rakim.
lot of the great,
I
yeah,
saw you tweeted
Kane.
your top 15 MC as of what 9/25/25. So it's a couple months ago. Do you want me
I
to
gotta
quote
change it.
that or have you changed?
Well, I also now we can talk about it. The thing was, as soon as I did it off the top of my head in like 3 minutes, right?
Okay.
And so the day I was thinking to myself, I was like, but I want Common in there because
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Common's not
Because
in there.
Common for me is a top 15 MC, and I didn't have him there because I gave one or two people that legendary pass, and sometimes we do that, and we give certain people a legendary pass um, based on their name and when they came out, their influence. But just like the NBA, Dr. J was great, man. But LeBron's better than Dr. J. I know people don't want to hear that he's better. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
Magic was great, but Jordan is better than Magic. So even though Magic and Bird saved the NBA after the 70s, so it's hard when you do those joints because there are probably 20 or 25 MCs that you can almost interchange most of them in a top 20 greatest MCs list, man. But yeah, but by all means, man,
But you have it here that says this could change tomorrow. So this was a few months ago. I'm just gonna
change them
ask
all.
you. I'm gonna go down the line. I'm gonna start at number one, and I'm gonna ask the why, basically. All right, Nas is number one. I don't know if I have to even ask why. I mean, he's kind of ran laps on everybody at this
I'll be
point.
very brief with this. 1991 live at the barbecue until the day I'm listening to Paul's tapes.
Yeah, yeah. Number two, Biggie. Yeah, some could
So,
say that he has a very limited catalog.
but see now, let me refute that real quick. That's the funny
Okay.
thing about that. Biggie, first of all, you got Life Ready to Die, 5 mics, no question. Life After Death, it's a double CD. It's 2 albums. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I know I'm gonna cheat a little bit and say that's 2 albums right there. Cause if you take this one by itself and it would have came out, people would have been like, Biggie got a dope album. This two would have been an album by itself. I don't think people would have been mad at that. That's almost 30 songs based in an album, right? He had enough work for that Born Again album, which I mean, as far as verses, you know what I'm saying, right there. Um, Writing for so many people, having all them R&B tracks, joints for Puff. You know what I'm saying? All of the unreleased joints he got with like Sadat X and all these different people. You know, that started leaking after he passed away and stuff. Biggie, the Junior Mafia album he wrote. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he's written about 5 albums worth of material. That's facts. You know what I'm saying?
That's fair. And, you know, I would make that case for Biggie as well. I think that the growth that he was experiencing was so vast. I'd never seen any artist grow that fast. I mean, even when you talk about Ready to Die was probably recorded maybe a year and a half time period, and that's being generous. It could have been shorter than that. You could hear his growth within the album itself.
Within the album.
Like you could hear the songs that came early and the songs that came later, and then we end up getting. I feel like Puffy did those remixes, like the One More Chance remix and all that. I feel like he did that because Biggie was just growing at such a rate that they had to just keep recording. So you got that part of it,
Absolutely.
and like you said, all the features that Biggie had. And I just think that Biggie was just so advanced for his time period. I don't think that there's an MC in 1995 that could have made that One More Chance remix. Maybe
I,
Tupac, but
I
yeah,
don't think so. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I don't think so either. And another tweet I had done years ago, I reposted recently was I posted a picture of Life After Death, and I said this is a seminar on MCing. Like what Biggie did on Life After Death. When you talk about Notorious Thugs, and then my downfall, you talk about Sky's the Limit and Niggas Bleed. You know what I'm saying?
Fucking
Like
You Tonight,
he
Hypnotized, More Money, More
facts,
Problems.
facts.
We talk about range sonically. I mean, subject matter. One could say that Biggie was limited subject matter, but he was even changing with that with Sky's the Limit and everything. But yeah,
I think that in time, if life would have been different for this young man, because people got to remember he was 24 years old.
yeah,
Biggie had the chance to be the most complete MC of all time.
I
He
agree,
had that.
one hundred
He had the
percent,
chance.
one
He had the
hundred
chance to be
percent.
complete.
Because he had some Scarface in him, and he had, you know, he could do all those things. He could do the
Ice,
chilling
some
type stuff.
Scarface.
Yeah,
Yeah, some Scarface, some King T, some Big
yeah.
Daddy Kane, some heavy D. He had a little bit of, he was a student of the game, you know what I'm saying? So he
Can
had a
you
little bit of all of it.
imagine how great Biggie would have sound like over some Dr. Dre production at the time, man? Like, I mean, we got glimpses of it with, Road to Riches and stuff like that. But when he was rhyming over West Coast shit, but imagine if him and Dr. Dre were able to lock in or something,
I always said that, man, I always fantasized about the album Afterlife After Death. Like I'm
man.
trying to imagine you talking about what he could have. I always said that the album Afterlife After Death could have potentially been the greatest rap album of all time. The trajectory that Biggie was on, if you
Yeah,
listen to Warning and then Niggas Bleed, that jump, that's like being in the ninth grade and then you made JV, but they move you up to varsity, and then you start punk on the varsity before the season up. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
I mean, I know you're a man of all genres and eras, but Biggie reminds me so much of Jimi Hendrix in that sense, where it's like, man, he was so advanced and gone so soon. Like, I can't
Yes.
imagine what Jimi Hendrix would have done in the '70s if he could have really
Can't
lived
imagine
in the
that.
'70s, man. Like, all right,
Yeah.
Jay-Z number 3. I don't know if we got to explain that either, but go ahead.
No need to explain. For some people, Jay Z is the GOAT. For some people, he top five. I can't even respect the list the way he's not the top five for obvious reason. I don't care who did the list. If Jay Z not top five, you listen to this live right now, I don't even want to read the rest of your list.
Why
So
do you
that's just the
think
way I am with it.
why do you think Jay-Z gets so much recent hate, if you will?
Hey, you remember Most Kings? Most Kings get their head cut off. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? And I would challenge anyone who don't know what I'm talking about to put in on YouTube Jay-Z Most Kings. Listen to the song and then listen to him in the interview talk about that. You know what I'm saying? Because at some point, people tired of seeing you win too. You know what I'm saying? And they just want to cut your head off. You know what I'm saying? It became a cool thing to do to downplay Jay-Z's legacy. You know what I'm saying? And also just real quick, I did it was a challenge from a friend. I did Jay-Z, the greatest MC of all time, in 1,000 words. I reposted it today on my page, and it's on TonyDaDome.com or whatever. But
mhm.
it just goes to show his elevation as an MC, his impact, his skill level.
Yeah.
Because I know some people who've been in the studio with him, and he really don't write for real. That's not like some folk tale or nothing like that. Jay-Z really rhymes in the booth without writing down. I know it for a fact. I had
He's
a close friend in
extremely
a while.
gifted, and the fact that
Gifted,
he
bro.
has that memory in that way
Gifted.
and can do a song like a 44 fours, my only critique of Jay is, and I think for a lot of people, when he went out there and admitted that he dubbed down his flow to double his dollars, I understood what he was doing and saying, but I think a lot of people use that against him and use those
They,
quote unquote
that's
hit
also,
records against him.
you
That's
know
the
what?
businessman.
That also went way farther than it should have went because I think he was the clever wordplay, and I think what he was
Yeah.
saying is, I'm gonna still drop these singles for y'all cats because this is what y'all can understand. But on the album cuts, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna still give you that fire. You know what I'm
But
saying?
that's
That's what he
but
always
the
did.
truth is everybody did that though. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just
Everybody.
him. Everybody. It was very
Nas
rare
did
that
hate me now.
yeah.
Nas did hate me now. He ain't rhyming like he did on Undying Love or
Yeah.
or New York State of Mind 2 on there. He did hate me now to get them the record sales up. So
Yeah.
every like you said, every major artist did it.
Now some people did it a lot more fluid than others, and again, that's where Biggie,
And Jay did.
to me, I would give Biggie a lot of credit because on those hit singles and hit songs, Biggie was spit.
He
And
was
Nas
spitting.
is spitting on If I Ruled the World, but you're right,
He really was.
most MCs kind of dumb it down on their hit records, but I'm gonna ask you this, and then we can go on to your next pick. Um, what hit song do you feel like Jay was spitting the most on?
You know what's funny, man? And it's not necessarily the lyrics, but the flow. That jiggle what, jiggle who,
I
man?
agree. That was my pick too.
Jesus, he was spitting fire on them,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
The
Nah,
flow was
lyrically too, man.
and lyrically, he was,
I agree.
he was
That
nailing
was
it.
gonna be
I
my
saw
pick
him do
too.
it live, and he did a piece of that joint acapella live down here in North Carolina. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
he got some, man. He's spitting flames on them, man.
yeah. Left him in the cold with a thin sweater. Raps
Yeah,
hit
he
the
was
bow
killing
back.
that.
Threw two of me. I threw four back.
Full
Hold
back.
that.
You know what I'm saying? Speaking that shit.
Yeah. I what he said. I I suggest you invest in a vest gonna come through with the Glock Jet Black and nigga step back. I'm
Yeah,
invest that. You invented this. Me and my niggas
yeah.
we invented this shit. I came into the business with this. The
The
originator.
original
Son.
John Gray Jazz will finish the shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right. Tupac is your number 4. I don't
Oh,
know if that
Tupac.
needs to be explained either.
No, no, I think that Tupac got the most range as an artist, as a hip
Yeah.
hop artist. You know, he could literally, you know, he can go from having a song like, you know, "Hit 'Em Up" for example, right? But he can do that "Dear Mama." He can do that "So Many Tears." He can do that "Death Around the Corner." He can do that, you know, "Lord Knows" on "Million
Did
Against the
he
World."
create did he create the I mean, I know people had range before that, but did he create that level of range?
I believe so. I believe so because I mean, start. You think about this. On the first album, you're gonna have Bruno's Got a Baby that damn near make you shed a tear if you watch the video. He's so sincere in the video and everything. And he wrote it based on a true story that happened with two little girl up there in New York. You know what I'm saying? So you got Bruno's Got a Baby, right? Then you got me trapped. Then you got trapped. Then you got When My Home Is Called. You know what I'm saying? This all on the day Tupacalypse now. You know what I'm saying? So then
Yeah,
you move on to his. Then you got Keep Your Head Up on the next album and Papa
I get
song and
around.
stuff like that. So and then he gotta get around for the chicks. So I do think that level of range and giving you a whole person. You know what I'm saying? Nobody was more personable than Tupac, and then we get the DMXs and the Eminems and even a Joe Button type that gives this type of certain type of vulnerability that most MCs at the time weren't doing. So I would say he probably is the catalyst for that depth of vulnerability and range.
He's like the hip hop Captain Planet to me, man. He's like so many individuals in one MC.
I'm telling
And
you,
for the younger
so
audience who don't know
many,
who Captain Planet is, just
so
Google that.
many, so many.
Rakim is your number 5. Uh,
Well, you know, again, Rakim was my number one for about 25 years. You know what I'm
okay.
saying? Like it was hard for me to move Rakim, and that just went over time, and his catalog didn't keep getting bigger, but the impact will always keep Rakim where he is. He's still a God MC. You know what I'm saying? If
Yeah.
anybody tell me they feel like he's number one, I'm never going to debate against the God. You know what I'm saying? So I just still want to make sure I gave him his proper respect, man, because he did when I was in middle school. And I'm a couple years older than you, but when I was in middle school, Rakim hit. You know what I'm saying? And it did change because it
Yeah.
went from yes, yes, y'all were Run DMC after Raising Hell and all that. Rakim came right to do the same year like Raising Hell, and everybody was like, he rhyming slow. He rhyming like he just different. His voice is just different, bro. He did change the trajectory of hip hop.
It's cool to hear that from somebody who was there because I'm
Yeah.
listening to it after the fact, right? And like you said, Rakim's different in a sense, and I'm sure it was other people too. You
Mm-hmm.
know, KRS was around at that time, LL was switching his flow, whatever. But Rakim, you could point to him to be the
Right.
person that basically killed off a generation of MCs. Like that era before him is like he made them sound old overnight. And I can't
He
think
really
of
did. It was a changing of the guard.
anybody. Yeah, I can't think of anybody in hip hop history that I could say that for. Like he literally
Right.
made them sound old overnight. And I mean, even Public Enemy with Yo Bum Rush the Show, they recorded that, I guess, over time and it
Yeah.
ended up coming out, what was that, 86, 87? But anyway, they was like,
Yeah,
yo,
around
we
that
don't even want to
time.
put this
I think
out anymore
87.
because it
87.
sounds old now. You know what I'm saying? And because Paid in Full had come out, but that's
And
why
then
they
and then they
made
elevated
It
like
Takes a
crazy.
Nation.
Yeah, they elevated like crazy on Taste of Nation though.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
unbelievable.
And they had to. And that, to me, it's one of the best hip hop albums ever made, too. All right, KRS One, number 6.
I mean, when we talk about catalog again,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because KRS One is BDP. So we're talking about someone coming out with Criminal Minded, by all means necessary. You know what I'm saying? Sex and violence, edutainment, you know what I'm saying? The blueprint, ghetto music, you know what I'm saying? Then breaking our return to boom bap. I got next. All of these things, you know what I'm saying? So KRS One catalog is so long and vast. He has so much
yeah,
music. You know what I'm saying? Then he had the impactful street jams. You saw him on the verses. He has heat after heat after heat. You know what I'm saying? KRS-One could have went on for another 30 more minutes. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? And also, Blastmaster is one of the greatest MCs ever live on stage, especially in his younger years. You know what I'm saying? He's one of the best MCs ever on stage, freestyling ability. He's also a producer. He produced most of his damn beats. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, yeah, Chris is
I
Chris.
love it. I love it. Yeah, you explained that one, man. Yeah, he is to me. I think he's the best performer. I mean, I had the pleasure of seeing him and Kane on the same show, and Rakim was there too. But
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, they put on a show, man. I mean, Kane for different reasons because Kane's
right.
dancing and having the breath control and all that. But the way that KRS's voice just fills up the arena
It does. It
and the
controls
records that he
yeah.
plays, I feel like he makes his songs with the intent of performing them live.
It feel like that.
Yeah.
It
And
feel like
you know what? This next individual is very close to KRS One in my opinion. And this is the verses that I wanted. LL Cool J. I wish we could have got LL and KRS. I think that would have been more interesting than people thought.
look, I got a tweet. I say I do not condone any James Todd Smith slander. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I absolutely love L Cool J. When I was coming up, Run DMC was my first album that I really fell in love with hip hop with. And right after that was Radio. You know what I'm saying? And L he beat time. You know what I'm saying? Like he was
He
able
did.
to go through eras. He was able to go through eras and still, even if you didn't like some of his later albums, he still sound great on the mic. He still always found a way to find a hit like Headsprung in the 2000s, but the same guy that had I Need Love in the 80s. It had Headsprung in the 2000s. I don't think people understand that that's like a lifetime in music, especially in a young genre like hip hop. So LL is LL. No, it is what it is.
Why
He'll
do
be
you
the
think that? Why do you think so many people leave LL off the list?
Hey man, some people like hip hop. They say they love it, but they won't do the knowledge. They don't do the research. They won't go back and really see what someone's impact and what their music really meant and what it did for a certain time period. Because again, people got microwave short memories. You know what I'm saying? And also, some people look at L, even some of the younger cats, they think about his big singles. They
Yeah.
forget that L's an MC, a spitter. In his day, he was a spitter. He was a rhymer. You know what I'm saying? Even when he did the later tracks like Queens and stuff like that with Prodigy and all that, he's even when he did the 4-3-2-1s and all, I
I
shot you
shot
and
you.
all this stuff like
Yeah.
that. He transcended time. You know what I'm saying? And he's lyrical in his own way. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
think people think this lyrical got to be rapidy rap, and that's not always lyrical. You know what I'm saying? You could be lyrical without being having too much of a vocabulary to just rhyming to be rhyming. Some people just say words just to be saying them, but put 1,000 words on the song don't mean it's a dope song. You just
You know,
rapping.
I'm gonna say this about LL. I think that for a lot of people, especially who came up in the '90s or whatever, LL's missing that hands down classic album in the '90s. Even though I think Mr. Smith and Mama Said Knock You Out, Mama Said Knock You Out super early, but like when the Tupacs and Biggies and all and Jay Z's and Nas's are running the world, I think people feel like he might be missing that there. But what people got to understand too, LL
He
comes
didn't
from
need
a
it then though.
he comes from a different era of album
Yeah.
making. You know what I mean? He comes from an era where it's like you got the singles and then you got the non-singles. And I would say Bigger and Deffer is his classic album. I mean,
Hmm. I never looked at it like that. Man, I do like Big and Duff, and I remember I used to spend a whole lot back in the day, man, back in school. But I was always like, Mama Said Knock You Out was a fantastic album to me.
it
You know what I'm
is.
saying?
It
And for
is.
me,
Him and
and for
Marley Marl
me,
connecting is incredible.
comeback of the year, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's my favorite LL album. Mama Said Knock You Out and Mr. Smith probably my two favorite LL albums. But
I
of
ain't mad at
course,
that. Yeah, because Mama said knock you
Radio.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, but Radio is classic because Radio helped save Def Jam, helped put Def Jam on the map, rather. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So Radio flops, do we even get Def Jam? So it's a classic based on impact, if nothing else.
I
Even though
mean, if we talk
even though
about
it's classic.
individual songs, man, it don't get no bigger than Rock the Bells early and Bad and I Need Love. And I mean those records are game changers. All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Number 8, you got Kendrick Lamar.
Absolutely. You know, that was one of the ones where, just like I use the NBA for example, when you have Dr. J in the top 10, and then you get Kevin Durant now. right? Kevin Durant is the elevated version of like Dr. J, so he's better, and it's
Mm,
okay. Whatever. So Kendrick Lamar for me, and I know some people, and I've gotten pushed back, and that's fine.
of course.
When I think about good kid, when I think about first of all, he had a lot of work before Good Kid, Mad City. Section 8 his actual debut album is fantastic. When you think
Hmm.
about Cushy Corinthians, the Reagan era, High Power, he militant on that joint, man. People ain't even
Yeah.
understand it.
ADHD is my
Before that,
shit.
absolutely. Before that, you got the Kendrick Lamar EP, Overly Dedicated, and all that. But now, moving fast forward, Good Kid, Mad City to me is one of those landmark hip hop albums. To me, it's like his little Compton version of Illmatic is that great to me. The storytelling in it, Sing About Me is one of the greatest rap songs I've ever heard. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
So Five Mics, it can sit at the table with any other album. To Pimp a Butterfly, for me, is
that's
this
my favorite.
generation. Yeah, to Pimp a Butterfly to me is this generation's It Takes a Nation a Million. It is militant. You got man King Kunta, you got the Black of the Berry, you got Complexion, you got Mama. That second verse on Mama is legendary. You know what I'm saying? You got
Mm,
how much a dollar costs,
yep.
Mortal Man. Like, to me,
Hmm.
there's not too many albums in this culture that touch more things in black awareness than that To Pimp a Butterfly. It reminds me of Dead Prayers, Let's Get Free, Public Enemy, Escalade to the East Backward. It's like that to me. You know
And
what
you
I'm
think
saying?
about what was going on in hip hop at the time, nobody was even going there on a mainstream level. It wasn't
He
even
went there
like that kind of.
mainstream.
Yeah.
That album is studied at some universities, bro. You know what I'm saying? Then you get the Pulitzer Prize with damn unprecedented in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Then you get the Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. And the funny thing about that is, I mean, that's more of a personal diary to him. I call that his version of like Here Madeira, almost like Marvin Gaye saying, "Well, look at Nas, life is good," very personable, and they went left field for their own therapy to me. But that tour he did ended up being like the second or third biggest tour in hip hop history off the Mr. Morale and Big Steppers album. Legendary again. Whether you like the album or not, that's fine. I'm talking about what the album did. GNX did the same thing, the biggest tour now in hip hop history off GNX. So it has a classic impact. If whether you think it's Five Mics now is whatever. The impact of GNX is classic. He's had several classic impacts and several classic albums. I think that his flow is incredible. I think that his vision, his songwriting, everything, man, for me, one of the greatest MCs ever.
His live performance is incredible. Like you said,
Incredible.
his visuals. The way he puts together his stage shows, the way he puts together his visuals, everything with Kendrick, even his album making is
Yeah.
storytelling. Like he does a great job of storytelling. And to me, if you want to just say pound for pound lyricist, I always thought he was ahead of everyone in his class on a
And
mainstream
look,
level. Just my
And
opinion.
I think a lot of times people again look at Kendrick almost like an LL. Some people, the casuals, listen to his big singles, and you're not listening to them bangers on them albums. You know what I'm saying? And the Heart series. Go back and listen to the Heart series, like on YouTube. Now they got like all 5 or 6 all running together. You know what I'm saying? If you listen to his, and you can also hear his progression from his K Dot days all the way up to the last Heart song, man. So
Hey, the way you
for
talking about Kendrick, you might have to move him up a little bit.
bro. He's gonna move up.
All right, number 9, Eminem.
So Eminem is one of those cases where it doesn't matter if you don't like his music. He is so skilled as an MC. And the funny thing is, Kara said this, Rakim has said this, G Rapper said this multiple times. These guys are listening to lyrics and rhymes, like rhyme patterns, just the way he construct words. It's unorthodox. It's actually you go listen at 3 in the morning. That shit that he's saying, man, like Eminem is so raw early Eminem with the rhymes, early Eminem. And then of course you can't overlook his impact. Eminem show, Marshall Math LP, all I mean, yeah, he gonna cheat a little bit because demographic. So I ain't
Yeah.
talking about sales, but we do know the impact is there. You know what I'm saying? But my thing was based on his rapping ability, man. And again, if you like him, he has a lot of good albums early in his career. So his catalog, for one, for people who like him, you know what I'm saying, they might look at his catalog being pretty deep. Now, I always had a problem with some of his albums because I personally don't listen to them all the way through like this. Because maybe some of it his own production that he did. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I don't love Eminem's production, and sometimes his story. Well, I will say this: he never tried to be something he's not. He rapped about
I'll
being
give
a
him that.
white dude for trailer. He rapped about his life, and that was real. He didn't act like he was something that he wasn't, man. So that holds something with me too, man. But dudes is an ill MC, man.
Yeah, I mean, he has skill and he's skilled, but I always thought that, like, subject matter wise, he was a little bit limited if we're compared, to somebody like a Common, right? And people like that. And I also do feel that you're right. There is a certain level of a cheat code with the demographic. And I only say that in the sense where he's not asked to make the records that some of his other hip hop peers and the people that you have on this list make. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, but I will say this though: him making a song like Mockingbird, him making songs like "Sing for the Moment." I mean, Eminem actually is very deep because he has quite a few songs about his life, about his own personal struggles, about his mom, about just all kind of about his kids, whatever. Then he got the storytelling like that Bonnie and Clyde,
he's a really great
insane song.
storyteller. Yeah.
His storytelling, he's one of the best storytellers in hip hop.
I can agree with that. I think that's his strongest suit as an MC for sure.
Probably is.
Um, and, I think that the way that he put out first singles was more so like I'm gonna do the goofy Slim Shady thing, whereas like you said, Nas
Build a
or something
fan
would have
base.
to make "Hate Me Now." You know what I mean? And just pulling people in to what's going on. So yeah, I mean, I
And
don't
let me
know.
say
I
one
think
thing
that's
real
a
quick.
little high, but
Let me say one
yeah.
thing real quick.
Oh, go
Let me
ahead.
say one thing real quick. I believe that just like I always said, Puff did the One More Chance remixes and all these kind of things like that because he'd left up the big, Ready to Die would have been 13 Machine Gun Funks. You know what I'm
For
saying?
sure. Yeah.
And it would have just been because he was just rapping on some street shit, whatever. Eminem, people gotta remember when Infinite came out, he was rhyming like Master Ace, Nas, AZ, and all them on Infinite. He was spitting, and then he do that Any Man on Raucous and all the joint he did on Funk Flex and all that. He was rhyming, but Dr. Dre needed Eminem to pop off, so I'm sure he was pushing like, yo, we gotta get a couple of joints on MTV because you got a chance to really be huge. So I think that Eminem had to dumb himself down some to
Oh
build
yeah,
that
yeah, for
big
sure.
brand and to build aftermath because we don't get the aftermath. We don't get the Dr. Dre, Beats by Dre, 50 Cent, Get Rich or Die Trying, G Unit, all this stuff from the tree of aftermath and 50 Cent, and Eminem's success with Dr. Dre. So he had to dumb himself down the same way Puff wanted Big to make Juicy. He wanted, we got everyday struggle over here, Big. We need this radio joint. You know what I'm saying? So everybody had to dumb themselves down a little bit.
I will say this, man. I think Dr. Dre, Jimmy Iovine, Interscope, and Aftermath did an incredible job with Eminem as an artist,
They
and
did.
even just how I've seen his legacy, quote unquote, grow over time. Because back when these albums and these songs were out, he wasn't in the greatest whatever rapper discussions like a DMX and all those guys were, but over time we've seen that happen, and I think they've done an incredible job. I
They
think
did.
8 Mile is very important in that part too.
Very.
8 Mile gave him as a film a lot of credibility without him even having to pick up a mic and make an
They did.
album that was in that vein. You know what I mean?
That's true.
And I'll give
That's
them
true.
credit for that. Scarface is your number 10.
Scarface could be in the top five to me. You know what I'm
Scarface is
saying? Like
incredible.
because Scarface actually for me has one of the top 3 or 4 deepest discographies in hip hop history.
I
You know what I'm
agree.
saying? So somebody said he's the goat to them. Not going to debate it. Top 5, not going to debate it because again, you talking about from the Ghetto Boys run to Mr. Scarface's back. You talking about through the '90s. You talking about classics, man. The Diary. You talking about Last of Dying Breed, Untouchable. The Fix is a 5 mic classic to me. You know what I'm saying? You talking about uh what Made? You talking about, man, so many. Look,
Yeah.
Scarface is one of those guys again who I think he got like 2 classics, but even outside of that, he doesn't have a bad album to me. He has
Yeah,
a lot of
catalog
very
goes a
good,
long way when it comes to people like him and his
deeply
consistency.
rooted.
Yeah.
I mean, deep discography, man, deep catalog, man. And one of the most heartfelt MCs, amazing storyteller.
I think he's the
The
best
grim,
storyteller. Nas is the best, but Scarface is second. Nas is the
Is the
best
one.
based on volume, and nobody has as many stories as him, and he's detailed. But just in a vacuum, I'm going Scarface.
Face might be the deepest storyteller when you think about Man Cry, Man Die. When you think about in My Time, the last track on Last of a Dying Breeze, one of the deepest songs I've ever heard. And I did an article on him years ago called Scarface, the Grim Reaper of hip hop. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And
chilling.
I talked about, yes, because he can make you really reflect on life. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And the vulnerabilities and your mental health and things of that nature, man. So I mean, he's a master MC.
Mm-hmm. Jay-Z, Nas, Biggie, and Ice Cube would agree. And Tupac as well. Um,
Absolutely.
Black Thought's your number 11.
Black Thought, you know, I followed them way back in organics, but when Roots came out with organics in '93, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like that's how far back I go with Black Thought. And of course, Do You Want More is one of my favorite albums in like '95. And then of course when they came out with Ill Depth Half Life, I was sold. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? When I heard What They Do, I was sold. You know, and so I know a lot of people got on the Black Thought after this Funk Flex freestyle and all this stuff. No, if you listen to the bodies of work, especially after Malik B and everybody kind of left the Roots, them the Undone album and some other Roots albums, those were solo. They were basically solo albums from Black Thought. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I mean, then he got the strings. I just think the way his performance, his breath control, he can mimic any MC on stage. He has a photographic memory where he can literally do all of Rakim and Big Daddy Kane's songs word for word and not miss and not skip a beat. You know what I'm saying? I've seen the Roots several times on live, and he's one of the best live, just spitting venom on the mic I've ever seen. He has range. I remember that one of them Streams album. He had a song called "How to Hold a Chopper." You know what I'm saying? It's like 2 minutes long, and he's talking to his child about how to hold a chopper and talking about the slavery and stuff all in 2 minutes. It's some of the most amazing writing
He's
I've
brilliant.
ever heard.
You know, him as a writer, the Jizza as a writer. I mean, it's just it's next level type stuff. Lupe Fiasco as a writer,
Fantastic,
those
man.
guys.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and when it comes to Black Thought, to piggyback on that, I think if you put all of these MCs in one room right now, and they get on a beat and rhyme, Black Thought's gonna out rap everybody, and I say that respectfully.
He can out rap almost anyone, man.
Anybody at any given moment. And like you said,
Unbelievable.
he was always great, and he's gotten better and better over time.
Which is
It's
scary.
scary.
And that coming out this year.
Yeah, yeah.
Get
All
ready.
right. Ice Cube is 12.
Ice Cube was in my top 10 for a lot of years, man. I just think that I didn't really want to move him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he could still be in my top 10, man. I love Ice Cube. For me, he still had one of the best starts of a solo career in hip hop history. When you think about America's Most Wanted, the Death Certificate, Kill at Will, Lethal Injection, you know what I'm saying? Then moving on into Predator and like a Predator and West Side Connection. I mean, man, his catalog is unbelievable. He started off as good as you can be because
Yeah.
America Most Wanted got 5 mics in the source from somebody from California. You know what I'm saying? Then it's the death certificate. Some people might say is even better, which is scary.
I would. I love them both. Death Certificate is one of my favorite albums ever. You
Yeah.
talking about
So I mean,
militant? Jeez.
oh my God. I mean, yo, he's from the school. I mean, the Bomb Squad did America's Most Wanted. So I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
he
yeah.
got this Chuck D influence off gate.
I can't put Eminem over Scarface and Cube.
I get it. I get it.
All right,
And
Cool
I won't
G,
debate you.
Cool G, Rapid 13.
Outside of School of D, PSK, shout out to School of D. Outside the father of East Coast hardcore hip hop is Cool G Rap. Everyone
Yeah,
from Queens is Cool G's son. And even
yeah,
Big Pun, I know he ain't from Queens. Big Pun literally kissed the ring when he was alive. You know what I'm saying? Cool G Rap.
yeah,
But you're talking about the Nas's, the Mobb Deeps, Capone Noriega, even Ray and Ghost and all them in Staten Island, the Cool G Rap influence. If you
yeah.
name them, if you spit in Core Mega, AZ, whoever, the Locks, anybody, they all from Cool
Mob
G
Deep
Rap too.
sound. Yeah, everything that we love about that. Yeah,
All of them from Cool G Rap, man. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
again, spit venom his whole career. When I listen to 4, 5, 6 now, you talking about someone who came out in the 80s. 456 came out in 1995 in the middle of Nas, Big, and Jay and all them.
Yeah,
And G-Rap rhymes are just like that. Right there with theirs are better. Go listen to Executional Style on 456. He Nobody else is spitting any better than that in 1995.
I love it. Ti number 14.
Yo, T.I. is a great MC, man. I'm
I agree.
always champion for T.I. because we talking about catalogs again. You talking about him starting out, I'm serious. You talking about, Urban Legend, Trap Music, King, Paper Trails are one of my favorite albums. I love that joint, man. You talking about the big features, the big bangers, street bangers, club bangers, uh, underrated lyricists. You know what I'm saying? Like
I
really
agree.
can rhyme. You know what I'm saying? Got depth in his rhymes. He has everything as an MC to me. You know what I'm
He's the
saying? Like
most
he's a
complete
fantastic.
Southern MC of all time, I think.
I wouldn't debate that because he can give you every type of song. He can do Why You Wanna and then do 24s. You know what I'm saying? With the
Yeah.
same potency, and he never sounds like he's reaching. He's
He
always
can
sounds
battle.
natural on the mic.
He
And
can
he can do it
battle.
all, man.
Yeah, he's done the hit songs. He's done the street songs. Like you said, I think he's a very underrated featured artist too, because his features, he never really, never really skimps anybody on the features. Like everybody who gets him as a feature, he spit. He don't never
He
just
spit.
dial it in when it comes to the features.
No, he don't dial it in.
Yeah. All right, you got Most Def at number 15. Now, I love this because I love Most Def. Um, I think Most Def is the most naturally talented MC I've ever heard of.
Bro,
One of the most naturally talented MCs I've ever heard. But it's hard to put the catalog thing
I
with
know
this
it. I
guy.
know it. That's what I told
And
you.
yeah,
I'm gonna do mine again as of like February 1. You know what I'm saying?
okay,
You will see. You're gonna see Karma like getting them 11.
okay. All right, so
So,
Most Def's at 15, even with a very slim catalog, if you will.
so you
But
know what?
go ahead.
I cheated here because what you said is what I tweeted about 2 years ago. And shout out to Rob Markman because he tweeted something similar after that. And I said, man, I said that about a year ago. And we talked about it on the episode of the Dome podcast when he came on. And we both were saying what you're saying. What I said about 3 years ago, Mike, was Most Def for me was the most naturally gifted MC I ever heard because
I agree.
it sounded easy for him. That's why he got bored and started doing other stuff because rapping to Most Def, to me, my perception is like somebody who's great at shooting free. It's like Mark Price shooting 95% from the free throw line of Steph Curry. It was too easy. When I listen to a Black Star album and I'm listening to Thieves in the Night and stuff, just stuff like that, I'm like, people
Bruh.
can't, not that many people can rap like that. Then when I listened to Black on Both Sides, when I got to that last track, I was like, this 1999. When I got to that last track, I said, this dude right here is one of the greatest rappers I've ever heard when I was just listening to someone rapping. It's easy. And then some of his verses, I used to go back and just read them online, listen to them over, and I'm like, that was fantastic, man.
The
Like
Hurricane verse about time.
that, bro.
Oh my God.
I did a video
I-
about that years ago,
oh my
Mike, and I
God.
never that look. I posted those rhymes about 3 or 4 months ago. I gotta find that and repost it again,
yeah.
and I played it. I played it on a video. That was one of the greatest performances I've ever heard someone rapping, man. And that's why
yeah.
he
I
got to
agree.
be somewhere for me. Nobody, not that many people can rap like Most Def, man.
Yeah. You can't do much for me besides serve me
Oh
well
my
and have
god!
me good dividends be brought to you. Oh, try to
And,
kill me off and have me murder you. Many have wasted me and now they are facing me. Treated me ungratefully. Yeah, man. And I love Jadakiss, man, but y'all gonna have to show me those things, But the hurricane verse,
my god!
the way he approached his verse on respiration, where
Yeah,
he was the city or he was
yeah.
taking on the whole embodiment of the city. I remember the first time I heard most of
What
Yassine
about
Bey.
Twice in a Lifetime? What about
Oh
that
yeah,
verse on Twice in a Lifetime?
yeah. First time I
Flawless.
heard him was on B Boy Document, I think. And I remember watching Rap City, because Mad Skills is on there and High and Mighty. That's their song. It was on the Rockets. Was it on the Rockets too? I think so.
I don't remember because I don't remember the first time I heard Most Def, but the first time I really took
But I was like,
notice
who
of
was
it might have
that?
been yeah. But I think the first time I really paid attention, I might have slept on him at the beginning. I remember DJ Honda had that album. He had this
Oh my God.
Traveling Man on there, and I was like, damn, that's hot. And on that Crosstown
Yo,
Beef, I like Crosstown Beef on the Raucous joint.
yo, thank you, man. Traveler Man was wonderful, man.
Yeah,
Like,
it was.
oh my God. Like you said, it was just so easy to him. It's like from New York to the Cadillacs, Cali and the Cadillac, Chicago, no, we
Man,
innovate, infiltrate Virginia State. It's like he's
yep.
talking, man. Like that's
Oh
why I
yeah,
loved like that sketch that he did with Dave Chappelle when he's in the car. That's
yeah.
so most stuff. Like it's so
It
easy for
is.
him. It's-
It is.
but yeah, when I heard Miss Fat Booty, I was like, yeah, I'm a fan. And yeah, it's just the way he just approached that, and she came with the same type game type of girl to giving out the fake cell phone and name. Big game.
Yeah,
She
you
want
know what?
tabs and big face.
Some of the some of the rhyming he did on that Static was fabulous as well, man. Like he had
Yeah.
some verses on that Static album, man. That, like I said
Priority.
again, yeah. And then even that True the way he was singing on True Magic and doing that song on There's a Way. I love that joint, man. But yeah, he had some joints on that True Magic too, man. So yeah, man, he is one that I would really wish would have dialed in more and dropped some more albums. But I just think that hip hop was so easy for him rhyming, and I just think that that's why he's a great actor. He owns 16 Blocks and Something the Lord Made and all of this stuff like that because he's an actor as well. And he was an actor as a youngster as well. So
He's
I just think
extremely
he's one of
gifted.
those, just a gifted guy, man.
He's the hip hop Tracy McGrady, man. Incredibly gifted. Incredibly gifted. It
That's
came
pretty
too
good.
easy for him. It
That's
came
pretty
too
good.
easy. All right, well, let's get up out of here, man. Great talking to you. We got to do this again.
Absolutely.
Especially
Absolutely.
T.I.'s dropping "Kill the King," so it's supposed to be his final album. I was gonna do something about that because I think T.I. don't get enough flowers, but we'll see if we can set up something, man. It was great having you
Yeah,
join me,
man. Absolutely.
and
Absolutely, my G. We'll do that.
yeah, let's do this, man. All
Facts.
right.